Tell me about the Russian Baptist girl, though. How did you? I mean, you finally met. I mean,
Yes.
I know you met, but
Yes,
now
yes.
how is this working out?
Okay, so my wife Stacy, she grew up Russian Baptist, and then she has a very messy childhood too. Her dad was an alcoholic, abusive to her mom. Her parents were Russian, immigrated to Paraguay, and then into the U.S.
Okay.
So I guess there's a huge. I mean, I never knew this, but there's a huge Russian population in Paraguay.
Yeah, I would never guess that.
And so, so she grew up in the San Fernando Valley, probably about 30 minutes from where I grew up. She started going to that youth group in high school.
Okay.
When her parents divorced, her mom was kicked out of the Russian Baptist Church because she divorced.
Yeah.
Even though it was definitely a biblical divorce by biblical standards. And so her mom was really hurt. They found Rocky Peak, the church we were at. And so they started attending, like I said, in high school. So, I mean, I was the kid that was not going to college classes because they were too far apart and forging like report cards. Mm-hmm. My wife never didn't do an assignment, never didn't turn in a paper.
Right.
She crossed every T, dotted every I.
Never tore the label off the pillow.
No, definitely. Yeah. Mattress tags are on. Like she's that kid, right? She was that kid, very straight laced. So in college ministry, when our house was the hub of everything, she was hanging out too. She was in nursing school. And again, like I had this messy background. I'd lost my virginity in in middle school. I had more struggles in high school and into early college. And I got to a point while I was living with Dave where I was like, I'm done dating because I keep screwing this up. Mm-hmm. So I'm just done. Like, and I remember like my prayer was like, Lord, if you want me to meet a girl, she's going to have to fall out of the sky, land on my head and wiggle. Like I'm done. I'm over it. Like that was literally my posture. I mean, I think was verbatim the prayer actually. And I remember I was sitting with a friend of mine, Travis, and we were in the living room one night and we were having this conversation and this is what would happen at our house at 2 a.m. And he was like, well, like, okay, so are there any girls? Cause I think I told him the story and he goes, are there any girls in the group you would think about dating? And there were two. It was like, well, Stacy would be, she's super cool. And there was one other girl and I remember her name.
Right. Smart.
Yeah. Well said. So anyways, so there's this conversation going on. And then Stacy would come in. So like, again, we talked offline beforehand, introverted extroverts, extroverted introverts kind of mixed thing. Right. And so again, when there's 20 people in your living room for 13 hours, I would get to a point of like, I need a break. Right. And so I would retreat into my room and I would just sit on my bed with my guitar and just noodle. Right. And Stacy was attracted to that. So she would come in and sit and, I'd play worship songs or whatever. And so we kind of just developed a slow kind of connection. But again, I was terrified of screwing up another relationship. Right. And so I was like, I was no gas and all brake, at least initially.
Right.
And we just started hanging out more and more. And we would go on these long drives, which like, again, like I have a son who's college age. If he said to me, hey, tonight I'm going to leave at about 10 p.m., grab this girl, we're going to go for a drive to the beach, assuming we had a beach in Texas. We'll get home around 2 a.m. But it's cool. Like nothing bad's happening. Right. I'd have been like, no, but it's true. Like we would, I had a Jeep at the time, a Jeep Wrangler, and we lived in LA.
Yeah. And
so the top would be down and we would just drive PCH and we would drive to the beach and we just talked like it was so platonic and it was just so cool. Like we would just have these amazing conversations about everything, like whatever, faith, whatever it would be. And in that, I like that spark started to happen and I'm like, oh, I think I like her. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, what do I do with that? And so at one point I tried to test the waters and there's debate. If she was sitting here, she would say she wasn't that sick. She just had a head cold. I would say she had the flu. There's 29 years later, there's still an argument going on about this. But she was sick. And I had a rose and a teddy bear sent to her at her house. And it just said, hey, get well soon. And so the next, like a couple of days later or something, she called me. She goes, hey, you got time to talk? I'm like, yeah. And so I forget where we met, but she was like, hey, what's the deal with us? This is my wife. And I'm like, what do you mean what's the deal with us? And she's like, well, the rose and the bear. And I'm like, whoa. Like, you weren't feeling good. I was trying to encourage you. Like, slow down, girl.
Yeah. She's practically dead. Yeah. Here you are.
I mean, I'm trying to just be nice. Yeah. And she's so funny because then she's like, well, I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm like, I wasn't looking at, like, I don't know what you're talking about here. I'm backpedaling out the door as fast as I can. He's like, whoa, making like gaslighting her to death. Like, hey, you're a crazy girl. Like, you need to slow down. I know I'm attractive, but please. So, and I left her house. I did get back to God being audible almost, right? And I get in my car and I'm driving home and I'm so mad.
Yeah.
I am livid. Stupid. Forget her. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't want a girl. She's dumb. Like, I don't.
Girl stinks.
What does she know? She's missing out. And I go back to the house. And then over the course of the next week, like normal college stuff's going on. She's hanging out at the house. And I'm finding myself getting really jealous of anyone she's talking to.
Oh, wow.
Like, she's talking to my buddy Eric. And I got so mad that I left. Got in my Jeep and drove off. Like, super dramatically too. Like, not even like I'm just sneaking out, like not a good Irish exit. Like, it wasn't an Irish goodbye. It was like me slam the door and get in my Jeep, not tell anyone anything and drive off. And I hope they miss me. And she's like, what the heck is going on? This is an artist, right? Like, we have these like emotional swings. Yeah. So anyway, so she like, so I'm like, so there's this weird thing going on. And as I'm driving mad in the middle of the night, I'm going to show them, again, almost audible. The Lord's like, don't turn your back on a good thing because it isn't what you want it to be. I'm like, okay. So I go back to the house, and by then everyone had gone. And I think it was like the next day or a couple days after, I just said, hey, can we meet after church? I want to talk with you. And she's like, well, I can't. I'm going shopping with my mom, but we'll connect soon. And I was like, okay. And my thought was like, I'm going to tell her, look, I'm still interested in you. I don't know what to do with that. And so I think it's just best if we need to really put distance between us, and so that was my plan. And I had rehearsed it. Like, I had a plan. And turns out her mom cancels on her. So Sunday we actually ran into each other, like on the road. Like, we literally pulled up next to each other at a stoplight. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, my mom canceled. What are you doing? I'm like, hey, can you talk? She's like, yeah. So we drive to the beach because that was our thing. We would just drive to the beach. And the whole ride to the beach in my head, I'm going, okay, I still really like you. And I don't know what to do with that. And then she's going to say, yeah, I'm not interested in a relationship. And I'm going to say, okay, well, then we're going to have to put some distance between us because I don't know that I can handle. Like, I'm rehearsing. And I think the whole ride there was dead silent. No conversation, probably no radio.
Right.
Like, as awkward it could be. And we get there and we're walking on the beach, still dead silent. And I finally just look at her and I go, look, I still like you. I don't know what to do with that. And I just don't know what to do. And she goes, yeah, I like you too.
Whoa.
And I was like, record scratch moment of like, I don't know what to do. Yeah, totally. And then she looks at me with her big, beautiful eyes and she goes, what do we do now? And I said, I don't know. I didn't plan to get this far. And we got back at the Jeep and the drive home was almost as awkward because we're like, we don't know what to do. Again, we're like early 20s. Like, yeah. But I'd been so terrified of this relationship that there was nothing smooth or debonair or anything. And so we're driving back and she goes, does this mean we're dating? And I'm like, I guess so. Like, it was as unromantic of a moment as you could possibly have. But we started dating and I had a lot of things to square away in my life. We dated for 4 years. We were engaged for 10 months. I promised that I would not ask her to marry me until I was out of debt. And I had run up some debt just from like, I want a car stereo. Right, and so I'm going to put that on these cool low interest credit cards that are only 30%.
That is low.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was doing that kind of stuff. And still working at the Bible bookstore and trying to kind of navigate things. And the day I paid off my last statement, the last bit of money I owed, I ordered the ring for her and had it shipped. Her cousin is a jeweler, so I was able to get exactly what I knew she wanted.
Right.
And, yeah, we got married September 25th of 1999. We got married in the church that the show Seventh Heaven was shot in. There was a TV show about a pastor and his family
Okay.
that was on TV in the 90s. We actually got married in the church that they used for that.
Nice.
And yeah, she's the best. Like we still are, like, we can't get rid of each other. We love each other. We have so much fun.